Today on Ian vs. Daddybones, we're starting off the new year with a brand new box for me. Welcome back! It's another exciting episode of Ian vs. Daddybones. I want to say Happy New Year to everybody watching the show right now. Say what's up to everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook for free right now. Give a special high five and a nut dap to all of the Patreon subscribers who chose to roll over into the new year right along with me. And the Patreon is officially now $3 a month. And you get access to all the bonus content that I filmed last year for every episode of Ian vs. Daddybones. You get your name in the credits as a high five and a thank you from me to let everybody know that you support the brand. And you get access to the Original Geeks podcast, which is my second exclusive show. And you're guaranteed at least 2 episodes a month of the OGPC included with your Patreon subscription. But Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to my show. Today I am super excited because I had plans on what I was going to do this episode, but then I got this motherfucker in the mail this afternoon, which completely changed plans. So for those of you who are tuning in for the second time, hoping to see me open up the Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine WWE Rhythm and Blues, I apologize. That is not going to happen this episode. That will be going down this month, whether or not it's a full-length episode of Ian vs. Daddybones or it's bonus content for the Patreon. I haven't figured that out yet. But in this box, I had shipped right before Christmas. Well, actually, it was the week of Christmas. It was right before Christmas Eve. And it was one of those type of things where I went to process my shipment and have it sent out to me. But when I processed my shipment, I didn't get the email that it shipped until the Tuesday after Christmas. So I've been waiting all week for this to fucking show up. And as of this morning, when I got up to go to work, I'm thinking, okay, I'm either going to get the email at some point telling me that it's on a truck out for delivery and I'm going to get it before New Year's, or I'm probably not going to have this show up until mail resumes after January 1st. So thank God, because spoiler alert, New Year's Eve is tomorrow, but by the time y'all are watching this, it's already after New Year's. So, I don't have the party favors or confetti to throw in the air, but maybe I could throw some fucking animated shit up on the screen or whatnot, but, it's still fucking New Year's. But thank God I got this box in the mail today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what's inside my box. I'm going to let y'all have a nice little peek inside my box, and I'm going to show you stuff that I'm going to be opening up on future episodes of Ian vs. Daddybones, and this is going to be fucking fresh because I am absolutely excited. I've been waiting patiently for this box to arrive because there's some stuff in here I've been really looking forward to finally getting in my possession. So we're going to start off actually with what I'm going to open today on the show, and that is in fact none other than my, where the hell's the name of the fucking company? There it is. The Cheetah Toys Chester Cheetah, or Chester, what the fuck is it? Chester Cheetah, that's it. Chester Cheetah, the fucking Cheetos mascot. It's not easy being cheesy, and I was cheesy as fuck right now because I grew up with this motherfucker and I didn't even remember his name for a split second because all I saw on the front was Cheetos and Crunchy. But yeah, I got Chester Cheetah. I'm going to be opening him up, and he looks pretty fucking dope in there. 6-inch Chester Cheetah figure. He's got an alternate head He's got alternate hands. He's got like an actual size Cheeto that he can hold. And he comes with his own little bag of Cheetos. But we're going to get to him later in the show. But he's made by Cheetah Toys. And the reason I bring that up is because this Chester Cheetah figure is actually made by the same company that made the General Mills breakfast cereal monsters that I opened for Facebook Reels back in October when I wasn't able to film the show. I was doing more Facebook Reels last year than normal, so I did the breakfast cereal monsters, the Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and the Boo Berry, and they were absolutely sick. But he's the same scale and size as the breakfast cereal monsters. And another thing that I want to bring up that's really cool with the fact that he's made by Cheetah Toys, I bought 2 of them so far. One, like, this was my pile of loot that I had shipped, but currently sitting in my pile of loot, I have one of these figures and another figure I'm going to get to in a little bit. But Cheetah Toys also has a line of Street Fighter 2 action figures that are they're 6-inch scale. They don't come in the window box with the door like the breakfast monsters and the Chester Cheetah, but they come in these little boxes that look like Street Fighter cabinets, but they're like 6-inch Street Fighter 2, Ultra Street Fighter 2 figures, and you know, they're absolutely sick. You know, they're the same scale as the Marvel Legends. So if I bought Ryu. I have Ken pre-ordered, but what I'm getting at is once I get Ken and Ryu, I could like put them with like Gambit and Wolverine, and they're the same scale, same size. So if I'm taking pictures and want to get a little X-Men versus Street Fighter action going on, they're not going to look out of place or out of proportion with each other, and it's going to be fucking dope. So I got Ken and Ryu already taken care of. I know Chun-Li and Fei Long are currently available, so it's going to be interesting to see this year where Cheetah Toy goes with the continuation of this Ultra Street Fighter 2. And the reason it's Ultra Street Fighter 2 is because you had Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, then you had Super Street Fighter 2, and then you had Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and when Street Fighter 2 got to its 15th anniversary, they had like a 15th anniversary collection for like PlayStation 2 that had like a remixed version of the game that let you pick like whatever version of the Street Fighter character you wanted to play as, and that was known as Hyper Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Edition. But then when Street Fighter 2 just recently turned 30 years old, we got Ultra Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition. So basically, Ultra Street Fighter 2 is just its current name right now based on its anniversary year. So I got Ken and Ryu on deck coming, also from Cheetah Toys, so they're going to look pretty sick. But I'm going to open him up in a minute. But taking a peek back into my box, we are now moving on to the Masters of the Universe Masterverse collection, and I'm starting to tick off the remaining figures from waves 9 and 10 of Masterverse. So right out in this box, I got Clamp Champ today. Clamp Champ's fucking dope. Like, I spent a lot of last year talking about Sunman and Rulers of the Sun and its inclusion in the Masters of the Universe line. But, you know, basically back in the day, you know, there's been plenty of times over the course of my life, whether it's various sports or even in like professional wrestling, you know, there's been moments where it's celebrated when, you know, a wrestler will be the first black wrestler to do this, or the first black person to do that, first black person to do this. And in the case of Masters of the Universe, like back in the day, Clamp Champ was the first official black He-Man character that was part of Masters of the Universe, and I remember Clamp Champ, the OG Clamp Champ, which I have in Origins, so I'm letting you know right now, when I open up this Clamp Champ, I'm also going to be talking about the Origins figure. But basically, I wasn't allowed to have Clamp Champ when I was a kid for reasons I'm not going to get into right now, but we'll save that for the Clamp Champ episode. But digging back in my box. And also, too, going back to Clam Champ real quick. Clam Champ is part of Wave 10 of Masters of the Universe Masterverse. That's the wave that included Webstore, Prince Adam, and along with Clam Champ, the only figure that I don't have in this wave is the Horde Skeletor. So it's Skeletor wearing basically his Horde uniform when he was working for Hordak. So I got my Clam Champ, but also, finally, I've been waiting for this guy to come out since the third episode of Ian versus Daddybones, when we talked about the Masterverse Revolution, or Masterverse Revelation Merman, but it was the present day version of Merman in the show, where he was missing an eye that he lost in battle, and he was covered in Sabu scars. And this is the classic Merman, based on his back in the day look, and he's wearing his armor and his sword, and he's got his like normal classic look with his weapons and shit. He's got his eye back, and this Merman is actually part of the 9th wave of Masterverse that includes Grizzlor and Buzzoff and the blue-skinned Faker. Unfortunately, Buzzoff and Faker are like sold out everywhere, and I have not seen them in stores. So Buzzoff and Faker in the Masterverse line, I currently do not have at the moment. I'm hoping a second shipment shows up with online retailers this year, or even Mattel in general. It would be nice to finally get those 2 figures and check them off the list. But with the Masterverse figures I got right now, these 2 Masterverse figures are in the original Masterverse box design from when this line started in 2021. Now, the next figures I got in the box are still Masterverse, but these are the Wave 11 Masterverse figures that have debuted a brand new box design. Now, I opened up and I talked about the new Eternia Trapjaw for Patreon subscribers. So if you're subscribed to the Patreon, I know you probably checked that episode out. And on that episode, I talked about how this is the wave where they decided to change the box design completely. So now it's less of a plastic window in the front. Instead of it being all like black and blue and boring on the front with just the logos, now it's got the artwork of the figure on the front. And normally, basically what they did was they took what would be the back of the box artwork on the old boxes and now put that shit on the front of the box, and now on the back of the box it's an actual picture of the figure instead of another piece of artwork. But for people like me that are anal as hell about our displays and collections, you know, it's not gonna fuck with me in my OCD, because I could still put them on a shelf next to each other with the old box and the new box, and it still has the artwork on the sides lining up. So it's not the end of the world if you're collecting these things mint in box and not opening them. But you know, like I said, these figures are absolutely great. I absolutely love this line because they're the same scale and size as the Mattel WWE figures, which is what I really enjoy with buying the Masters of the Universe and the WWE figures. But yeah, this new Eternia Classic Man-at-Arms is part of Wave 11. And also, I have Masters of the Universe Revolution. This is based on the new upcoming Netflix series continuation season that drops at the end of this month. I'm really excited about. But this is the sorceress version of Tila that she becomes in season 1. Now we finally get the figure of Sorceress Tila, but the reason for finally putting her out is now that they're making it known she's in Revolution. Now they can put out the Tila figure. So I got the new Eternia Man-at-Arms. I got the Sorceress Tila, and not included in this wave, I have the Masters of the Universe movie Meg Foster, Evil Lynn. Now, this figure is absolutely amazing because earlier this year on Ian versus Daddybones, I didn't open up, but I talked about the Masters of the Universe movie, Dolph Lundgren, Frank Langella, He-Man, and Skeletor figures, and I wasn't sure exactly what the deal was with those figures. Were they just finally getting the licensing for the likeness of Frank Langella and Dolph Lundgren to make Skeletor and He-Man movie figures that only appeared in the Classics line between 2008 and 2018, but the Evil Lynn never got a figure. If she did get a figure in Classics, it's slipping my mind, but to the best of my knowledge, they just got her likeness. And I think the reason they were able to get her likeness is because Meg Foster is also going to be voicing the character Motherboard in Masters of the Universe Revolution. So the live action actress from the movie Evil Lynn is providing a voice for a new character in the new cartoon, so that's pretty dope. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna open this Evil Lynn or not. I've opened all my other Evil Lynn figures, so on one hand it would make sense for me to open her, but where I didn't open He-Man and Skeletor, it would also make sense for me to leave her in the box and just put her with the movie figures, unless I decide to open them someday, but we haven't gotten there yet. But moving on, last but not least, I have been super excited for this, and I do gotta say, Patreon subscribers, thank you guys very much, because I saw this guy was still available for pre-order, and because I was able to cash out the Patreon for the month of December, I was able to pre-order him when he showed up, and it's all because of the Patreon subscribers. But I got WWE Ultimate Edition Kurt Angle. I got WWE Ultimate Edition Kurt Angle, and he looks absolutely sick. Kurt Angle, he's in a red cloth singlet. He's got his blue knee pads, blue elbow pads. He's got 2 additional head sculpts, including the head sculpt I bought him for because he's fucking crying. I have crying Kurt Angle, and he comes with additional sets of hands. He comes with the WWE Championship, and he comes with 2 gold medals. So I'm looking forward to opening up that Kurt Angle on a future episode of Ian vs. Daddybones. But I'm gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Alright, we are back. I don't know why the hell I said I had to take a break. It's like I was going to a commercial or something, but I haven't gotten that popular enough to get advertisers in show yet, so I'm trying to get there this year, but I'm not there yet. But I basically just had to reset the camera and shit to move the fuck on and reset the timer on my phone. But I also realized at the same time I wasn't wearing my OG PC hat that Tone Chop did for me. And speaking of Tone Chop, I need to get a hold of Tone Chop again because I like this hat that he did for me so much. I actually want him to do another one of the same thing. Only I want him to flip the silver, orange, and the pink around. And I want to have something that I can wear on the show that I don't have to worry about getting ruined at all. And I want another version of it that I can wear like as my day-to-day hat because he fucking nailed this hat and I love it. I love it. You should definitely check Tone Chop out. You check out Tone Chop Frost Gamble on iTunes, and I'm also rocking my Gold Ribbon Media shirt, and I happen to be checking out their Facebook because Gold Ribbon Media's definitely been making some moves. There's a podcast you should check out on YouTube. You should subscribe to their channel just like mine. It's called the Seriously Dope Podcast. And they just made a post like 5 days ago. They dropped episode 2 talking about Quad Studios in New York City, so you should check that out. And also, if you like the ghost hunting, you know what I mean, paranormal activity, then you need to check out Into the Unknown, which is their series that they're producing, where it's Movie Mike and Red and their homies are going on, you know, spiritual investigations and looking at their videos. They checking out the Seneca Falls Historical Society Museum, and I'm looking at the first episode. They're at the Erie Mansion. So yeah, they're definitely got stuff on deck for 2024. So definitely go check out Gold Ribbon Media. They're friends of mine, and they really supported me last year, and I really appreciate it. And especially Movie Mike, because the dude has given me some words of wisdom over the years, and that means a lot to me. So definitely go check them out. Go check out their channel. Give them a subscribe. And another reason too I wanted to bring up Gold Ribbon Media is because with Movie Mike has also been doing some other work where he's been working with a local MC called Mindframe, who y'all should check out all across social media. Mindframe is a local MC who's in the process of recovery and getting his life back together, and he's got a strong support team that's getting him back into the lab, getting those creative juices flowing, and Mindframe's been making a lot of fucking content lately, like videos out the ass. He's been doing like the duet collabs on TikTok and shit, and the kid's got talent. You know what I mean? And he's even starting to let everybody know that he's got a singing voice to go along with them bars. You know what I mean? So the kid's talented as fuck, and I'm not just trying to put him over as a local MC, but it's one of those type of things where it's like, I seen this kid grow up, and to be honest with you, like, he grew up right next door to my dad. Like, where my pops lives right now, like, you know, he was our neighbor. So it's like, when I met him, he was like an 8-year-old kid, you know what I mean? And it's like, the house that he grew up in was like a house back in the end of the 80s and early 90s, you know, when there were people living in that house that I were friends with, including, you know, like, his stepdad. And it's just so neat seeing how, like, life goes on. And it's like, when I was a kid playing in that backyard and whatnot, there was like a tire swing on the tree and shit, and now it's like that tire swing's not really there anymore, and that tree's a little old, but that house is still there. So it's like I still have memories of like walking up my dad's driveway and walking past that house, going to the school bus and shit. And then when I graduate high school and, you know, I become a dad myself, and I got my Julia, and my, you know, who's gonna be 23 at the end of this month, my 23-year-old, back when she was like 2 or 3 years old, you know what I mean? That's when I like noticed that like Dorian was living back at home, and now Dorian's got a family, and you know, this is his stepson, and you know, he was like 8 or 10 years old, and then fucking here we are years later, and you know, now he's an adult and he's doing his thing as Mindframe, and you should definitely check him out. And like I said, go check him out on social media, follow his socials. The dude's talented as hell, and you know, it's one of those things. Don't worry about the freaking nobodies that you see on TV. Worry about the people that the people around you think are dope, and you should check out. And I definitely think you should check out Mindframe. But yeah, Movie Mike has been he produced, he filmed, and I don't know if he edited, but I know he was definitely behind the camera and directing this shit. But Mindframe did a video, which was like his verse off a track that he's on an album, and it's just so sick because like you know, it's, you got his talent with his music and his flows. And then you look at Movie Mike behind the camera, you know what I mean? And Mike just works his magic, and you know, it's amazing seeing guys like Movie Mike and like Big Drew, you know what I mean, do their thing with like producing videos and making videos and filming all sorts of stuff, and it's, you know, that's the thing. There's so much talent in the 607 in this area. It just blows my mind how people continue to evolve and grow. So if you want to put some people on your radar who are definitely growing and making some moves, you need to check out Gold Ribbon Media and Mindframe, Movie Mike. I highly recommend it. But right now, I want to open up this Chester Cheetah because, I don't know, man, it's one of those type of things where it's like, Big Bad Toy Store like made a post for like new upcoming pre-orders, you know? And he was available, and once I looked at him, looked at his box, and saw that it was Cheetah Toys, and saw the scale of the figure, I'm like, oh, so it's the same. So if I take him out of here and put him on a shelf, he's the same scale and size as Count Chocula and Frankenberry. Like, that's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? And like, Count Chocula and Frankenberry were available as figures. And a year and a half ago, like it was summer of 2021 that I bought, it was summer of 2022 that I bought the Frankenberry and the Count Chocula figures. I actually got those figures in the mail right around the time where Halloween 2022 season was coming to a close, and I just started Ian vs. Daddybones. So the Count Chocula and Frankenberry would have been made an amazing like episode 1 or episode 2 had I done it in time, or even started Ian vs. Daddybones a week before I originally wound up starting the show. But now that it's been like over a year, I opened Count Chocula, I opened Frankenberry. In the meantime, Boo Berry was released this past summer. I got Boo Berry, he showed up. I was able to open Boo Berry for a Halloween reel last year, and that's right around the same season when he became available for pre-order. So it just was, so once he was pre-ordered and locked, then it just became a matter of waiting for him to show up, process, and ship him out to me. But it also has me thinking too, you know, I understand their licenses, so Cheetah Toys has to get the licenses from the companies in order to do these toys, but it just, I want to know where they're going with this. Because I'm very interested in this. Like, I'm fascinated with this. Because it's one thing seeing the breakfast cereal monsters, but then seeing the Chester Cheetah figure, and then with the Chester Cheetah figure, it's the same company that made the monster cereal figures, so it's like, how many more do they plan on doing? Like, are they going to come out with, I don't know, like, are they going to... There's so many mascots and possibilities, you know what I mean? Like, are they going to make, like, the fucking Hawaiian Punch Kid? I think that'd be kind of cool if they made, like, a 6-inch Hawaiian Punch Kid figure or mascot, you know what I mean? Or even if they had, like, Charlie Tuna and shit like that. But I'd be more interested if they continued with other breakfast cereal mascots. Especially if you got Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo Berry with the General Mills. There's plenty of General Mills breakfast cereal mascots, just like there's plenty of, you know, Kellogg's mascots. And I've seen Kellogg's figures available for sale, but as far as articulation and, like, being this size, you know, I'm interested in seeing Cheetah Toys continue with this line. I mean, if they make, like, if some other company got the Kellogg's license and decided they were going to do, like, Toucan Sam and whatnot, or Tony the Tiger, you know, I would at least like them to be the same 6-inch scale as these figures, but who the hell knows where they plan on going with it. It's just, there's endless possibilities, you know what I mean? If these two, like him and Boo Berry came out in 2023, I could only imagine who they're planning on putting out this year. Now, if it was me, I would continue on with the breakfast cereal mascots. I'd continue with the breakfast cereal mascots because you already did Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo Berry. And my only complaint, and this is actually going to tie into something that I'm going to be doing for Patreon subscribers, just to give you another reason to be like, you know what? He is worth the $3. He knows what he's worth. I'm going to subscribe. I got a new series of bonus videos where I'm going to be calling it Keeping It Real. Now, on Keeping It Real, what I'm going to be doing is looking back on the toys that I open for Facebook Reels that I don't give the full episode opportunity. You know what I mean? So, with that in mind, now that I'm talking about the Count Chocula, the Frankenberry, and the Booberry, the Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Booberry, I could kind of look back on opening those figures, because I think those figures were absolutely incredible, and you could always go to my Facebook page and look at my reels and look at the ones in October, and there you go. But the figures were absolutely great as far as the articulation goes and the detail. Absolutely amazing. My only issue is some of their joints are like so ragdoll floppy and shit that like trying to get Count Chocula and Frankenberry to stand up on their own, their leg joints are like so loose that it just wants to like fall over, because like his torso and head is like so fucking heavy that the joints aren't stiff to like hold the position without falling over. So right now I have those figures back in their packaging inside a cabinet that's, I have like Count Chocula and Frankenberry right next to each other, and I have the Booberry box right on top of the other two boxes, and it fits perfectly. You want to know why it fits perfectly? Because the Booberry box is fucking shorter than the other two, that it just happens to fit perfectly inside the cabinet on top of the other two boxes, which drives me nuts. Like, I'm good with the Masterverse boxes changing their design, but as long as I can put them on a shelf book style, where the spine of the book is now the art of the box and everything is all like majestic and panels of art, I'm good. But when I'm trying to put it on a shelf and I got two boxes one size and the other box is like 2 inches shorter than the other two, it's like, what the fuck? Now I understand why Booberry's in a smaller box, because Booberry's not a 6-inch figure like the others. Booberry is actually smaller than the other figures, but he makes up the same scale, because like Orko, he basically comes with a fucking stand that gets shoved into a hole underneath him, and well, in this case there's like a hole in his back that it plugs into, but he has a little display stand and he just rests there and he looks pretty dope. But I mean, and as far as being like, a floating ghost next to Count Chocula and Frankenberry, he looks amazing. It's just, if you're a mint and box collector and you don't want to open them, it's going to completely ruin your aesthetic. And for people with their OCD and shit, that's going to trigger a lot of people. But what I would like to see them do, since they already did 3 of the breakfast cereal monsters, there's still more breakfast cereal monsters they can do. Because right now, there's 2 breakfast cereal monsters, but I'm going to get to the third one, even though I don't really give a shit about the third one. But the other 2 breakfast cereal monsters that would be worthy of figures in this scale would be Fruit Brute, the werewolf, and Fruity Yummy Mummy. Fruity Yummy Mummy was the name of the cereal, but Yummy Mummy was the name of the character. So, they haven't made figures for Yummy Mummy or Fruit Brute yet. But you also have that fucking emo DJ girl. The one that came with like the caramel apple fucking monster cereal last year. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I mean, sorry. I just think you got a fucking emo zombie girl that's a fucking DJ that looks like a fucking Bratz doll that's supposed to be the fucking Gen Z fucking breakfast cereal monster, and it's just, I don't know. It's not my monster cereal. I didn't like it. We got a box. I thought it was gross. I thought I had better apple and cinnamon flavored cereals before that, even with marshmallows. This one really wasn't doing it for me. And I mean, let's call it what it is. The cereal's okay. The cereal's fucking mid. Like, it only comes out once a year, but I love the monster cereal. But come on, halfway through the fucking bowl, the cereal's all fucking soggy. You mostly eat it until the marshmallows are all gone, and then you're done. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to eat the soggy fucking cereal. So, like, my love of the monster cereal only goes so far. You know what I mean? Like, it's like sometimes, like, I want a McRib, but I don't want to eat the whole thing. I'm good with just having a bite and then calling it a year. It's kind of like that with the monster cereals. I'm more of a fan of the mascots and the OG television commercials and advertising than I am the actual fucking taste of the cereal. But I definitely think Yummy Mummy and Fruit Brute deserve figures, in this Cheetah toy line. But it's going to be interesting because it's Cheetah toys, and once I get Ken and Ryu shown up, it's going to be interesting to put them together. Maybe I'll have another reason to take Count Chocula and Frankenberry out of their box, but I highly recommend grabbing those figures because I don't think Cheetah Toys makes shit. The attention to detail is amazing, and I think the packaging is great, but I gotta reset the can, man, and I'll be right back. You know, I was thinking between setting up the camera and whatnot, it'd be really funny if they actually made like a deluxe mascot figure, because these are like 6 inches, but if they made a 12-inch figure and made it like a deluxe Green Giant fucking mascot, that'd be kind of sick. Could have Green Giant fight face off against Krang. And, oh yeah, speaking of that, on the last episode of Ian vs. Daddybones, I mean, I did make a text note, but when I was talking about I was talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Masters of the Universe Turtles of Grayskull crossover, I mentioned that for some reason they decided to make Krang green and not look like his normal android body Krang. And I remember it just confusing me and not really understand what the hell they were doing or what Masters of the Universe character Krang's redesign is taking inspiration from, until they showed off the packaging right before Christmas Eve. They showed the packaging for the deluxe Krang, and the reason Krang is green to begin with is because the packaging says like brain mastermind inside a Megator android body. So it's not the android body that he had in Dimension X, it's a brand new android body in Eternia, and the reason it's called the Megator android body is because Megator was one of the canceled Powers of Grayskull expansion line figures that never got released in 1988. Okay? Megator was like a 12 or 15 inch fucking giant-sized Masters of the Universe character. They had Titus, they had Megator, they had two giants they were going to introduce in Masters of the Universe, because it was going to go from Masters of the Universe, it was going to go Masters of the Universe, the theatrical movie, and then Masters of the Universe was supposed to segue into Powers of Grayskull. Because because the movie sucked, Mattel pulled the plug at Masters of the Universe, and Powers of Grayskull never came out, and it was canceled. Some of the figures were able to get released in Argentina and Spain, but that's pretty in Italy, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, Krang's android body in Masters of the Universe is inspired and based on the Megator giant that never came out. So once I saw that on the packaging, I was like, okay, that's cool. Now it officially makes sense, and it's no longer confusing. But yeah, what a great idea, and to bring it back. You know what I mean? Run it back to something that never got released back in the day. If I'm struggling to get this, oh, I know why it's not coming out. It's got a little secure tie. All right, there it is. I always have a trusty pair of nail clippers and scissors. Alright, there we go. Wow, what a great looking figure. He's got some bindings I gotta release him from. Just like the wrestling figures. And the Masturbers. There's his Cheetah accessory. There's one of his extra hands. Here's his little bag of Cheetos, which looks absolutely sick because the breakfast monsters came with, the breakfast cereal monsters came with little boxes of cereal, which I thought was pretty neat. Okay, that's actually freaking cool. The Chester Cheetah heads actually have actual whiskers. One leg, two legs, his tail, one arm. There he is. Alright, now, right off the bat, I can say that this Chester Cheetah, there we go. This Chester Cheetah is absolutely sick because, like I said, with the breakfast cereal monsters, they felt kind of ragdolly, and like they felt ragdolly to the point to where they didn't even want to stand up. But as you can see, I'm having no problem whatsoever getting this Chester Cheetah to stand up. Trying to get his Cheeto in his hand. There he goes. And the cool thing is, like, I just swapped out his his right hand for his grabbing jerk off hand. But he's holding his Cheeto, but his other right hand, he actually has Cheeto dust on his fingers. So I actually want to see something. If I could take that out. Okay. So no, I cannot. Okay, he cannot hold the Cheeto in that hand. Now he can hold the Cheeto in his left hand. Now let me take that out. Let me see if the bag of chips will fit. Well, I guess the bag rests on his hand, but I don't know. It kind of sucks that it doesn't seem like he's able to hold it correctly. There's not even like a oh, there he is. Somewhat. Alright, let's swap that out. There's little pegs. Sweaty. Firm grip on it because you don't want to break the peg. There it goes. You know what? That's pretty fucking sick. Tail bends down. It's pretty fucking slick. And he's got this other, let's see. This head, he's showing his teeth. This head, he's just calm and cool as fuck. But what a sick fucking figure. I mean, I will say, even though Count Chocula and Frankenberry look absolutely amazing. Yeah, he's got like his piano-like hands. And then he looks like he's snapping his fingers, but he also has the Cheeto dust on his fingers and his thumb. So that's pretty dope. But yeah, man, like, I mean, I don't have to put the plastic back in it yet, but for the most part, I mean, that in a nutshell, that looks absolutely fucking sick. You know what I mean? And it's little shit like this. This is the enjoyment I get out of buying this shit. This is the enjoyment I get out of doing this show, because it's like every episode I want it to feel like Christmas morning, you know? That magic of waking up and just getting what you want and just opening that shit and be like, oh my god, and then having someone to share it with, like all of fucking y'all. But I do gotta say, looking back on Christmas real quick before I get the fuck out of here, I read a story on the news where, I don't remember the whole thing, but it's like, the gist of the story was some kid woke up early, went downstairs, and like opened up everybody's fucking gifts. So then when everybody else woke up and came downstairs, it turned into a matter of, what the fuck? And like, you know, wrapping paper was everywhere, and it's kind of funny because it's like, I kind of did the same thing one year. Like, back when I was like 5, 6 years old, I'm trying to think, and all I remember is it was the Christmas, it was like 84 or 85, could have been 86, no, I think it was 85, but either way, it was the Christmas, maybe it was 84 going into 85, all I know, it was the Christmas that I got my LJN WWF wrestling ring. It was when I got my Roddy Piper, my Hulk Hogan, my Iron Sheik wrestling figures, and not to mention other He-Man figures. Like, I know for a fact that was the Christmas that I got Too Bad. And I actually told this story when I opened up Too Bad, which I believed I opened up Masterverse Too Bad for Patreon. I'm not sure if it's a bonus episode at this point or if it was a full-blown episode. But either way, go check this shit out. Go subscribe to the Patreon. It's $3. But yeah, I remember opening up Too Bad. But it's not that I opened all the Christmas presents. It's basically what it was is I went downstairs and I basically came up with an idea like, well, if I go to my Christmas presents and say like I kind of accidentally tear a corner, I can get like a sneak peek. But if I do it on the back of the package, nobody's going to know. Mom will never know. Yeah, Mom found out. But it was from those little sneak peeks, like I cut a little piece of the wrapping paper and happened to peek. Oops, I see a WWF logo. There's only one thing with a WWF logo that could be on a box that size. That's my fucking wrestling ring. And yeah, and I remember like peeking and seeing the Masters of the Universe figure, but like getting a figure of the Bubble. I knew it was like a bigger size character, like as far as like, you know, the feeling of the plastic. And yeah, my mom was not happy that year. So I feel for the parents of that kid, because I feel bad for that kid, because who the hell knows what goes on behind closed doors. But, you know, the fucking news article dropped, and it's just like, holy shit. And I immediately thought about that Christmas where I took sneak peeks by making little cuts in the wrapping paper and shit, and Mom was definitely not happy, so I can only imagine what that shit was like. But y'all, thank you very much for watching this show. I appreciate each and every one of you, even if you're not subscribed to the Patreon, because you don't have to pay me money. The easiest way to support the brand for free, smash that fucking share button. Throw me hearts. You could throw me likes. Some people get a little offended by likes. I mean, somebody's giving you a thumbs up, but because people are so offended by this meme generation, we got kids today that see thumbs up and think you're telling them fuck you, but you interpret it for what you like. I look at it like this. If I give you a thumbs up, at least I'm interacting with you, right? That's how I look at it on my end. I would rather take I would gladly take the thumbs up, because at least you're taking the time to interact. You're taking time to smash that button. Just like if you click the share button, you're taking the time to smash that share button and get the word out to let everybody know about my show. And you could go to the YouTube channel and subscribe for free. You could go to the Facebook page. You could subscribe for free. Or like it for free. You can go to my fucking Threads account. You can give me a follow. You can go to Instagram. You can give me a follow. Either way, the secret word of the day is always going to be share. That's all I ask. Share my shit, share my links, share my content, help me get the word out. Because right now, I've been climbing the fuck up that algorithm, and I've been freaking scrubbing up that friends list, getting rid of dead accounts, people that aren't doing a goddamn thing. So I'm making this year my year. I mean, everyone's all about that new year, new me bullshit. I say fuck that. I'm the same me that right now that I was last year, because last year was fucking fresh. Last year was absolutely amazing. And I can officially say right now, what you're seeing right now is the most profitable, successful thing I've ever fucking done. Since I started as a local rapper and then became a wrestling manager and a ring announcer while hosting podcasts and whatnot, you know what I mean? Either way, Ian Daddybones has always evolved like a fucking Pokemon. Like, this isn't even my final form. I haven't even gotten fucking shiny yet. You know what I mean? All I ask is that you share my shit. If you're in a position to throw me stars, help me out with some stars, and I will return the favor when I get a chance. Not making that sound like a lame-ass excuse, but I also get stars. So once I'm able to get my stars, and I see that you're able to receive stars, I have no problem sending you stars. What am I gonna do with them? They're just gonna sit there like fucking video game currency. That's how I'm looking at stars. You know what I mean? Facebook currency, Lucky Charms that I can send to you and you can send to me, and if we get enough, at some point it's gonna be redeemable for cash fucking money. But thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, cheers, Pete! Happy New Year, buddy. I fucking miss you.
When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, you're stuck cause you never go. Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, you're stuck cause you never go back.
You can't hide and you can't pretend, cause I'll punch you out like Wendy and Glenn. Some things you learn in the school you attend, but the things that I say you can't comprehend.
I ain't no hippie and I ain't no punk. I don't smoke crack and I don't do junk. I'll just sit down and smoke a fat bong, pull out my guitar and sing a fast song. There's your motherfucking American Idol, putting $2 a gallon down the gas hole. 10 million votes for the next asshole. I'll just put on my engineer's hat, sit back and relax while we speed down the tracks. I'll read the book just to spit out the facts.
Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, you're stuck cause you never go back. Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, you're stuck cause you never go back.
Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, get stuck cause you never go. Where will I be when I run out of luck? Get hit by a truck or get stuck on the railroad tracks. When shit goes amok and life starts to suck, you're stuck cause you never go back.
Up your driveway all calm and collective, tripping balls like an underground detective. Needs new shit, but my funds are running low. I spend it on weed, shrooms, beer, and blow. Living life like a cartoon, just flipping the page as I'm staring down the barrel of a 12 gauge. Shotty to the body and it's got me open, shaking so bad, think my legs are broken. I'm choking on the smoke and coughing up the shot, waking up from a dream. These drugs are high. Chasing strychnine with kind and beer with whiskey. Sing a lullaby and I'm sorry you missed me.
You can't hide and you can't pretend, cause